This is Outside the Round with Matt Burrill, a Raise Rowdy podcast.
Yeah.
Well, my man, the pride of Cookeville, Tennessee,
Yeah.
fresh off a playing of Nissan Stadium. Dan Spencer, how you doing, my brother?
I'm good, man. I'm happy to be here.
You're happy to be here, man. We're happy to have you. Take us through last night. I know this whole tour has just been a big thing. There's not many people that get to go out on tour with a guy like Post Malone, and you got my boys Gary and Charlie from Muscadine out there with you. Tell me what it's like for a Tennessean to play a show at Nissan Stadium.
I mean, I said on stage last night, it's beyond a dream. When we found out we were doing this tour, I guess I didn't know, and I was like, whoa, we're going to play Bridgestone. And then they were like, no, dude, it's at Nissan. And I'm like, that's too much. I was like, that's silly. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I've been going there my whole life. Been seeing Titans games since I was, in elementary school. And I guess they're about to tear it down and build a new one. So just unbelievably grateful to play it at all.
Yeah, dude.
But it's crazy.
That's wild.
It'll take a while to really have an answer, really.
Yeah. How did all the Post stuff kind of come about as far as you being on tour? Because I know we'll get into your background. You spend time in the metal scene and have gone like the folky roots route, which a lot of folks in Cookeville, Tennessee can relate to. I love Cookeville, bro. Such a cool town.
I love it.
And but how does a guy like Dan Spencer end up on the F-1 Trillion tour?
Okay, there's a long version.
Yeah, but we got plenty of time, my brother.
Okay. I guess the short, real quick version is my manager works for Post Malone on the creative branding, social media stuff side. But the way we got together is a wild one that I think it's pretty unique, especially for like Nashville music industry. It's not how it works the way that I got to where I'm at. But I was So I was in a band in my early 20s with most of the guys I still play with. All of them actually were in that band at some point.
Yeah.
Band broke up 2019. I went and made a solo album, just songs I wrote. Recorded that at a buddy's house in East Nashville. He records a lot of metal bands, like on Relapse Records and stuff. But he's just an old friend. And a month later, that big virus started going around, so over. Record, sat, mixed, mastered, artwork for 2 years. During that time, I enrolled in mortuary school and was...
What's a mortuary?
Funeral directing and embalming.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, it's like, music's probably not coming back, and I don't want to work on a line cook the rest of my life, so I was like, well, I'll go back to school. And so in here in Nashville to John Gupton College of Mortuary Science. Moved back to Cookeville for the fourth time I've moved back and forth between Nashville and Cookeville. Started working at a funeral home, and on the weekends I was coming back. Do you know Castrillo's Pizza in Nashville? I've managed that for a long time.
No shit.
Yeah. So I was coming back to Castrillo's on the weekends to make extra money. And just a customer, the guy I'd seen every week come in, he started talking about, back when I lived in L.A., this, and back when I lived in New York, that. And I was like, gee, what do you do? What did you do for he's an older guy. And he was like, I did A&R, and I signed Bare Naked Ladies and Three Doors Down and some stuff. I was like, cool, I have an album that I put on Spotify that no one's ever heard. I send it to him. Calls me, he's like, hey, this is amazing. I'm going to show it to my friends at this label, Gray Area. Okay, great. You don't think anything of it.
No,
You're
not
not
at all. It's Nashville, that kind of stuff. Like,
well, I'm so out of the loop, and I'm like, I'm not pursuing music. I'm not playing shows. I put this album out for basically friends to listen to. Had the dreaded under 1,000 on Spotify, on everything. So, like, not pursuing music, not in that headspace at all. And then the Gray Area guys start beating down the door at Castrillo's Pizza. Hey, man, I'm Joe. I do blah, blah, blah. Who did you record this with? Who played steel on? I'm like, my buddy? Like, there's no answer, because they're like, who do you work with? And I'm like, there's no story. I was like, I wrote these songs. I went recording with my friend, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
Yeah. You know, and so that was a crazy day because then, like, people start calling the store. Hey, is Dan working? Yeah. Hey, this is, I work at A&R for Island. Like, people are sending me your, I'm like, this is nuts. So, dude at Gray Area is like, hey, I'm going to send this over to a new friend of mine. His name's Bobby. He works for Post Malone. Okay, cool. You know, still not like, this is a fun little thing that's happened.
Some unexpected excitement.
Yeah, just kind of like, well, this is kind of, you know, a cute little thing that's happened. Not thinking like this is going to turn into a career in music.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, that's funny. Some people like it. And I, you know, get Bobby's phone number, and I'm just like, hey man, thanks. You know, thanks for the kind words. Glad you liked the record. And he's like, dude, I'm listening to you right now. He's like, I've been listening to you nonstop. Talking to him, and then eventually he texts me with, I showed Post all your music. He loves it.
Wow.
Yeah. So then I kind of thought maybe something would happen. So then basically Gray Area and this company Electric Feel that does Post publishing, and they're giant, huge company.
Yeah.
They got together and made a label for me to be on. And that's it.
What a ride. What's the timetable of this? Like, what year is this happening?
Oh, this is the past year and a half. I guess I met Bobby. He flew to Nashville with some of the other like kind of Post people in the crew in March of 23. I was probably December 22 that I first met like Gray Area dudes.
Wow.
Yep.
It's fucking wild.
Not how it happens.
I love that you're like the story of the pizza shop too, because some other guys that are over in the Gray Area family, Jacob and the boys from Old 60, they worked at a pizza shop.
Yeah.
In back home in Kentucky.
Right.
And they're pizza shop boys that were just jamming out like in the pizza shop. And their first show ever actually was one of our like Raised Rowdy events that we do. Oh, and they got to the end of their set. They're like, we don't know how to end this, because they had just previously been jamming out at Galaxy Pizza up in Kentucky. So
they're
it's
young
like
too, man.
they're very young, but it's like guys jamming out, working and grinding in the pizza shop to now getting to go on arguably one of the biggest tours that nobody ever saw coming.
Right.
With the F-1 Trillion tour, dog.
Yeah, I know. And the way we got on it was ridiculous as well. Because, you know, Muscadine got the call 3-4 days, maybe I think a week. We got 2 days.
Wow.
So we were gone all of August doing headline stuff that I booked basically, and then we did a week up north with his band Black Pistol Fire.
Sounds sick. I'm not familiar, but it sounds
like
something I want to check out.
They're on the road now with Red Clay Strays.
Awesome.
They're kind of like a psyche blues thing.
Nice.
Pretty cool. Very high energy. And then, we were gone all of August. Came home. I was going to do a couple solo dates with Amigo the Devil.
Oh, fuck
which
yeah.
I'm super excited for.
Love Amigo
Me
the
too.
Devil.
I've never met him. I know a bunch. We have a lot of mutual friends.
Yeah.
Would love to meet him. I know his fans would love me. I was so excited. And then the F-1 Trillion tour started on a Sunday, September 8th. Friday morning, September 6th, Bobby calls. Hey, I was up hanging with the boss last night. I said, hey, do you want a one of three on this tour? And he goes, yeah, just get Dan to do it. And he goes, okay, a solar? He goes, no, we'll pay the whole band. That's it. That's how we're on the F-1 Trillion tour.
That's fucking incredible.
That's the whole story. No agents, no.
Posty saying, ask Dan. Yeah. I'm sure Dan and his guys
He can get on a plane tomorrow, right?
Yeah, and how did the band react to it, man? Because those are your guys that you've been with for a while and have been riding around in the van with and just kind of piecing shows together with.
Yeah.
To tell them this stuff has to be an incredible feeling.
They were, I mean, no one believed me. I was like, well, my guitar player Connor, so he like left our August dates, never went home, went like with his girlfriend to the beach. Got home Thursday night, slept in his bed. I'm his roommate. Friday morning, hey, we're going on the whole F-1 Trillion tour tomorrow. Come on. They're like, what are you talking? Yeah, come on. I know you haven't been home.
You're about to be.
I know you were like planning on being home for a while.
Yeah.
6 more weeks. Good.
That's crazy. Have you ever done like amphitheaters or anything anywhere near this scale?
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, we've kind of like the course of the summer kind of gone up. We did a couple weeks with Lakeview.
Oh, dude, those are the boys.
These guys are
We
cool.
fucking love Jesse and Luke.
Oh,
They're like we're active members of like the home team and like their
home
crew.
team.
Bro, we fucking love
Of course.
those are like as raised rowdy of guys as we have. Yeah, because they're from. I've had them on the pod before. Jesse is was born near my hometown in New York, and then they both grew up in Pittsburgh, which is where Raised Rowdy started. My business partner Nick started Raised Rowdy, so we've been fucking with Lakeview since their inception, dog.
Yeah,
so that's sick. That's a great fit for your music.
Yeah,
and
those
music too.
Guys are so cool. First day of tour, we pull up like in this Ford Transit, like the tiny ones.
Yeah,
and crammed. We had like a last minute vehicle situation. We're like barely fitting in this thing with our gear. Immediately they were like, you can put all of your gear in our trailer. That's ridiculous, your setup. We were like, thank you.
Yeah.
We would have never made it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they were the coolest guys of all time. And so played some like bigger some of the bigger shows we played. I guess we had done like Bonnaroo at that point and some festival stuff, CMA Fest. And then we did a little headline thing in July, much smaller. And then the Black Pistol Fire dates. We went to played Danforth Music Hall in Toronto.
Oh, so you got to go to Canada.
Yes, first time. Except for my drummer, who is a moron and never got his passport.
Oh no!
For no good reason. And so we had we brought a merch guy with us who had played drums with me previously. So we drive to Detroit, drop Ethan off, cram him in a hotel room. My bass player plays drums. My merch guy plays bass for the one show. Yeah, that's how that went. And then we went back and got Ethan. And
it's like shuffling guys along the offensive line when like the right guard gets hurt, so the center's moving the guard, and then the tackle snapped a couple times, so you move him to center.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
It's crazy. Yeah. But I feel like to have like an origin story like that is just the coolest thing, dude.
It's my favorite. I mean, it's not how it happens because, like, I've met a handful of like kind of up and coming like guys like Gray Area will sign and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, I had a TikTok get so many 100,000, and then so and so DM'd me," and that's like everyone's story.
That's pretty standard right now. Yeah,
and I'm like, I had 50 Instagram followers. Like, I wasn't even playing shows. Like, had nothing to. Was not pursuing it in the slightest.
Yeah. So your music, they say it's like a blend of like the folky country stuff, like kind of like your roots of growing up and being in Tennessee, and then the mix of like the metal stuff. And it says like your background in the metal scene. So what kind of shit were you putting out with your band back in the day? Like what was your involvement in the metal scene?
So I've like never played metal music.
Oh, you haven't?
Never have. Like. Just was a fan and just kind of grew up.
So going to shows and
going
stuff.
to shows.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never was in a hardcore band. I mean, I like, in high school, like we get together and write breakdowns, but like, it wasn't a band of any kind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just been a fan. And grew up like Rocketown, just the old venue here in Nashville, the all ages one. Grew up going to shows there since I was 13 or something.
Who were some of those who were some of those like metal bands that you grew up just vibing out with?
First time I ever went to Rocketown, it was 2 nights, Mailing in the Sons of Disaster, Norma Jean Under Oath, and a local band called Alcina. That blew my mind. Like that was, it.
What was it that blew your mind? Is it just like the grooves and like the culture of how passionate people are, or was it the show that is like the metal scene? Because it's different from country.
For sure, yeah. I don't know. It was just like just taking it all in and like, even like, seeing the like trucks, like the trailers parked and like all this sort of stuff, and like just the whole part of, it was the first real that kind of show I'd ever been to. I'd been to like concerts and stuff before, so like just seeing that whole thing go down, and bands that, just listening to on CD. It was the first like experience of like, I bought this CD at Best Buy, or what's the Christian store back in the day?
I don't know. I'm from New York. We don't have a lot of Christian stores.
Oh, there was a huge like chain of Christian, but Lifeway. Chain of Christian bookstores. I was like, I bought this Under Oath CD at Lifeway, and I've been listening to it a lot, and I'm gonna go see them in person. Like first concept of that, just blew my mind. And so from then, and it's like an all ages venue. It's like Christian, vaguely themed, so like the folks are like comfortable sending you there. But then like you're going to see like, Between the Buried and Me and like crazy stuff. And then you get a little older and you realize there's like a skeezy venue down the street called the Muse that is now the Domino's on 4th, right under the bridge. It used to be this crazy venue called the Muse. So you'd go see like crust punk bands and like, so it's like right down the street. So you're like, bye, I'm going to the Motion City soundtrack show, and then you turn the corner and you go see like the Acacia Strain and like someone gets stabbed and like
You're seeing shit that's raw and real,
and you're 15
man. And I think that kind of leads into like your record, like Return to Your Dark Master. Like what so you had some songs out before this album, and then having a team involved in the release of this album and just what this year has been. So take us back to Dark Master and how that all kind of came to be.
It's pretty different than my first record. Even like, I had like a little 4-song EP come out actually first, even though it was recorded after the record, but put out a little 4-song EP. And then the first record, Bursting with Country Fresh Flavor. They both are like,
I love that title. By the way,
it's from Seinfeld.
Yeah,
all my album titles are from Seinfeld.
Really,
Seinfeld quotes.
I'm a big Seinfeld guy, and I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he goes. He's like at an awkward dinner. It's like the pony the pony remark. Where he's like, who gets a pony? It's like awkward, and he goes, "These peas are bursting with country fresh flavor." And I was like, that is a country album. Like that is so perfect.
Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah, thank you, Jerry. And then in this album, Return to Your Dark Master, it's also from Seinfeld. He's Kramer is trying to figure out George's secure password to something or another, and he's like calling him fat, and he's like, "You have a sweet tooth, and but what do you crave? Maybe it's the salty treats, but no, you'll always return to your dark master, the cocoa bean." And I was like, Return to Your Dark Master sounds like a black metal album title.
Yeah.
And so that's what it's called. And then you completely retextualize it into into a lyric. And it's like just some ridiculous Seinfeld quote.
Dude, it's like that's the kind of thing that people would look at as like a bit, but no, it's real. Like this is you. You just you love Seinfeld and you love making music.
Yeah.
You're just
I've got 3 more planned.
That's fucking awesome. Are you a Curb Your Enthusiasm guy at all?
Sure. Oh yeah.
Dude, one of my favorite shows of all time.
Yeah.
I'm so sad that this was like the final season.
I haven't watched the last season. I never did.
It's good.
I've heard because the one in between was kind of.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite.
It was okay.
Yeah,
some good, some good stuff in there. But I've heard the last one's awesome. But I haven't got to watch it yet.
Leon has some good moments.
Wonderful, lovely.
We love JB Smoove, dude. Yeah. That's awesome, man. So you're into comedy and stuff
Big
as
time.
well. Yeah. Do you get to a lot of comedy shows like the scene that's here in Nashville?
Man, I haven't in a while, but there was a long stretch where I was going to, 5-to-1 comedy shows over music.
Wow.
I was going to Zanies a lot.
New Material Mondays Unmatched.
Dude, I don't know if I've even been to one. That's a relatively new
Yeah,
thing.
that was one of the things that kind of popped up during COVID, and
Right.
it was since Nashville was one of those cities during the pandemic that
a lot of people moved to.
Yeah, a lot of people moved to, and you had things to do. New Material Monday, you'd have the Theos and the Dusty Slays and people like that just popping up because it was one of the few open mics in the country, and it just has blown up. But the comedy scene is a lot of fun too.
It is. I used to know a handful of people. We would play. There's a venue in Nashville called the Mouth Hole that is very. It was actually the Nashville Scenes Best of Nashville just came out.
Where is that?
I can't tell you.
Oh, it's a secret.
It's a secret.
Okay.
I know the address by heart because I've played it 400 times, but I cannot on this tell you. But it's these guys. They're from Huntington, West Virginia. They moved to Nashville. They met at Marshall. Moved to Nashville. I went to the 10-year last year, I believe. We're gonna open a venue, and we're never gonna charge money.
Oh,
We'll put out a bucket for like paying bands and stuff, but we'll never. Every show's free.
so it's literally like its own community and its own scene. Like,
Yeah,
if you know, you know. If you want to see something cool, you're coming to.
Yeah, it's a wild spot, and it's like so. It's called the Mouth Hole. The two guys who live there and run it are in a band called.
Oh, they live there?
They live there. Oh, it's a house. Yeah, this is a basement. It's this.
So cool.
This place is cool.
I'm gonna have to have you like. I'm just gonna have to text you and be like, "Yo, can you just drive me? Like, you'll have to, even if you like blindfold me or whatever, so I don't know where it's at. But like, I want to go and check it out."
There is a certain billboard on Briley Parkway. Briley Parkway goes through their backyard,
Okay.
and it's like the billboard's in their backyard.
Oh no shit.
So like, if you're
We'll
on
have to
Briley, you
watch.
can't really see it, but like that's the bill. There's the Mouth Hole. That's as close as I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
But
all right.
not you, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, the mass
people,
audience.
yeah,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
I can't be the guy who leaks.
No, you can't be. You can't be.
Which they'll tell you if you DM them. But
Yeah, is it like a big, like, what kind of stuff goes on there as far as like shows? Is it just a little mishmash of everything?
it's a lot. Like you're going to see one of the weirdest shows of all time. They have a fest every summer, 2 days. Where 20 bands will play all day long.
Wow.
Noon to 3 a.m.
I'm guessing you've played this festival?
Yeah. Oh yeah. A few times. We played. I did it. My old band played it probably 2016, 17, 18. But then we played it in, I guess, 23. Yeah. Dan Spencer and my guys, we played it in 23. But they all that to say, they have comedians come there a lot.
Oh.
So we got to meet a bunch of comedians and play shows with comedians. And they're like all so Watkins College was like an art college here that I believe is demolished now. Probably 2019 it went away. But it was like really connected to like that art college. And so a lot of like the freakiest people in Nashville,
the art kids,
would come to the Mouth Hole. But it's every type of show. But they would do like skits and like plays. Oh, and so the two guys that live there and run it, they're in a band called the Chewers.
Okay.
Chewers, Mouth Hole. The stage is like there's a uvula painted on the back. There's like paper mache teeth. The whole stage is a mouth.
Wow.
Yeah, this place is crazy. But they host the shows. So
so
like
they
in
present 'em.
in between bands. Hey, Mike, you ever... Okay, well, hey, next up, we got...
So it's like an open mic, like battle of the bands
Yeah.
kind of thing, like emceed. Just
Totally,
a
yeah.
scene. Are they serve like? Can you drink that? Like,
Oh,
is it-
yeah, bring your own, baby.
Oh wow.
They got a big, old-ass refrigerator.
Oh, and you just bring your stuff.
Just bring your stuff, put it in
beautiful.
the fridge. Yeah.
That's beautiful because we put on a lot of events in town. We do about a dozen
Yeah.
like writers' nights and the full band things
Yeah.
like each month here in town. So to hear that there's something like that going on
Yeah,
is very exciting.
It's a wild spot. I tell everyone, like, just go to Usher. It doesn't really matter what. You might not even like the music at all. Just go check it out.
It's just a vibe.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Fucking love that, man.
Place
I
is
love that. No, that's awesome. Shout out to the Mouth Hole. If you know, you know.
Uh-huh.
I think right now is like the best time for a guy like you to be coming up too, because it's like a guy like Post being in like considered in like the country music world.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're now that there's like all this like genre blending and you can kind of do what you want to do and the
Right.
country audience can get fed it. What's it been like coming up and like right now where it's not just like the radio stuff doesn't matter like it used to. The bro country movement's kind of been that we've gone past that. Like the traditional stuff's like there's a flavor of ice cream for everybody basically. What's it like coming up in this world?
Yeah, I guess it's kind of just by chance that I maybe not by chance, maybe that's why I was kind of plucked out of my life of being a funeral director. Is they were like there is something for everyone. So it's amazing to me, but it's a really interesting time in country music where like anything goes, and it is country seems to be like bleeding into every possible subculture. and that's really fun to watch. Like, every type of artist is doing country, whether it's just a song or there's a lot of really crazy underground stuff for like country, like, steel guitar is featured or something.
Yeah.
So it is really like kind of there's absolutely no rules. And, yeah, it's fun because, something like a Lakeview, or there's other people who are Bill Murray, or like, blend kind of country and hardcore and like kind of have breakdowns and down-tuned guitars and stuff. But I kind of go at it from like an aesthetic point of view of like, my like logos, a pentagram, and like all my records. My last record looks like a metal record if you were to like go buy it. And I kind of have the one song that like starts with the little blast beat part and stuff, which we don't even do live. But yeah, I'm kind of coming at it from that way, from like look and feel, more so than like, let's do a song with breakdowns, which I probably will do at some point. But I don't know. It's interesting to me to be here now.
That's cool.
Such a crazy time.
Yeah. What city were you most surprised that you were like, I fuck with this place, where you got to go? Because you got to go everywhere with Posty.
Yes. God.
Is there like a market where you're like, I fuck with this, like place, like, 'cause you guys went as far out as like Utah, California, like way out. Did you guys do like Washington State and Oregon too? Or?
We didn't. So no, this tour actually has like no West Coast.
Oh, so there was no California.
No, it started 2 nights Salt Lake, and then Indianapolis, then up to like New York, Maine, and then kind of working its way down through like Connecticut, Boston, and then into Virginia, North Carolina. There was no Florida date. It's kind of an odd one.
Yeah.
There was a lot of, and then we're going to Texas here in a couple days. But like, yeah, no West Coast at all. No California.
Are you playing the stadium in Texas? Is that at the freaking Jerry World?
No, it is at, so we go to Houston first. I don't even know the names of these venues.
Yeah.
It sucks. It's so funny too, because like every tour we've gone on, I'm incredibly involved in.
Yeah.
Have a lot of foreknowledge that it's going to occur, or I booked it, and so I know, and we don't have a TM or anything, so like
it's bare bones, dog.
It's all me, so I know like every detail. And then this tour we were added on so quickly that I know nothing. It's like the first time I've been on a tour where I'm like, I don't know what this place is called. Like, I have to look it up, like, when we go to put it into the GPS.
I'm curious as to, like...
I think in Houston it was called the Woodlands.
Oh, yeah, that's a great amphitheater.
Okay, yeah.
So when I was out with Trey Lewis, we got to do a summer with Kid Rock.
Word, okay.
Which was a life-changing experience.
Yeah, I'm sure,
You want to talk about... We learned a lot from old Uncle Bob.
Yeah.
Yes, you got Houston and then Austin. Yeah, the Woodlands is sick. You're going to love that.
I'm excited.
It's a cool amphitheater.
Love the amphitheaters.
Yeah, and then ending it in Austin, too. And have you been to Austin before?
We played Mohawk at the beginning of August.
Okay.
To 30 people.
I feel like you're going to like Austin just talking about places like the Mouth Hole.
Yeah.
You know what you know what Austin's slogan is, right? Like Nashville is like...
Keep it weird.
Yeah, keep Austin weird.
Yeah.
So it's like East Nashville is like a whole city.
Right.
It's like a whole city. Because it's like, being from New York, it's like you have like different sections of New York City are like a little different from each other. Same thing in Nashville, where it's like Germantown's different from 12 South, different from East, different from Berry Hill, like different shit. Austin is just like, you'll see some shit in Austin, which is cool.
Yeah.
I love it for that reason.
We played it for the first time in August, and it's one of those barely got to see it, pull up to the venue, play the show.
Is that how a lot of these are, driving around like vanning it like you guys are doing it?
There's been a couple that we have had to get off stage at 7:50. I'm in the car at 8:05 and we're driving because it's 10.5 hours to the next one. We have 1 day off in between. That's happened at a couple times on this one, but yeah, it's been tough chasing the buses. There was Atlanta to Rogers, Arkansas.
That's a haul along I-20.
That's a haul, and it was 1 day off in between. So we were in 15 minutes from us playing our last note. We're actively driving.
You load out that quick.
Oh, there's
the hands team, right?
No, this is a crazy setup for this tour, by the way. there is a under 5 minute set change between us and Muscadine.
Wow.
Yeah. We're using all of their backline.
Okay. Shout out to Zoltan and Weston and the boys,
dude,
the boys in that crew, which
they're
we'll
the
talk
best.
about. We'll talk about
Yeah.
my Muscadine boys in a second. But so 5 minute changeover.
Less than.
Less than
It's
5
got
minutes.
That's what it says on the paper. Less than 5. So yeah, I've got Gary's pack. I'm in Weston's box. Unplug. Take my guitar and pedals. We're off stage. They hit High on the Ridge in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I watched High on the Ridge in Rattlesnake. What's it called? Rattlesnake Road.
I think it's Rattlesnake.
Rattlesnake Ridge.
Yeah.
High on the something.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. No.
I'm a big
yeah.
fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, I watch it every night because I'm there. I'm still there, putting my stuff up. And so we just take our guitars and pedals, put them in the backline truck, and that's it. We have all there's no loadout for us. We're using borrowed in-ears. Never used in-ears before. We're using
That's a big difference from the wedges.
very big difference. First time in Salt Lake City.
So your first show is your first time with in-ears, and
Yeah.
you're hearing yourself like purely.
Yeah. And I have one out, and I have only myself in my ear.
Yeah.
Because I'm so close to the drums.
Yeah.
Because we are crammed in.
Yeah.
So I'm 4 feet from the drummer. Don't care what my bass player and guitar player are playing.
You're like, I'm gonna sing what I'm
Yeah.
gonna fucking sing.
I'm sure you guys are doing great.
Yeah, y'all know that. Y'all know the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, there's been a couple nights where he's like, dude, did you hear what I did on that song? I'm like, no. He's like, dude, I beefed it hard. I'm like, couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
I hope you do better next time.
How long's the set?
20 minutes.
Okay, 20 minutes is a pretty good first of 3. A lot of times they cut you down to like 15.
Yeah.
So 20 minutes. How many songs do you squeeze in there?
We do 5.
Okay.
And we, when we played Fenway,
Oh yeah, Fenway Park, dude. What the fuck?
first show in Boston.
Where do you go from there?
It's going to blow next time. It's going to
You're
suck.
gonna be at some little club.
Yeah, I'm gonna
You'll
be
love it though. You love the little
Jerry's
shitholes.
Chicken Shack and for 8 people. It's gonna be awesome. But yeah, first show in Boston, Fenway Park. That was nuts. Why did I bring that up? I don't know, just in-ears and
Yeah,
it's a whole.
it's crazy. So talk about my Muscadine boys real quick, because that's how I worked in radio up in New York, New Jersey, where I'm from, and did that through college, and then moved down here wanting to do that. Couldn't get a job in radio. 2018 when I moved here, I ended up bouncing on Broadway. I do security. I'm the ID guy. I'm the I'm the little New Yorker to the big guys. And it's funny, Tyler.
Yeah.
Well.
Oh.
So Tyler
Yeah.
was my original co-host on this podcast.
I found out about this at about midnight last night.
So
He
Tyler,
popped his head out of the van and goes, "What are you doing tomorrow?" I was like, "I'm doing Raise Rowdy." He's like, "That's my boy."
yeah,
I was like,
yeah, dude. So me and Tyler was like the first friend that I made, and me and Tyler used to bounce together on Broadway.
Now Tyler makes sense.
Yes. Yeah. Big. We used to call him Boudreaux because he's a big Alabama boy. So it'd be Burrill and Boudreaux. Yeah. Nice. And it's like you have me, little guy, you have him, big old boy, and him and I became really close friends. And then he moved over to be running sound at the bar instead of bouncing. Gotcha. So he'd be running sound on the shifts that I was doing this, and then he was going to go out with another act that fell through. And then our buddy Ethan, who we also bounced with, saw a thing in like one of those Facebook groups posted by Charlie Muncaster saying, "Hey, looking for a sound guy," and tagged Tyler. And Tyler ended up getting that gig. And now it's funny, you talk about your first like big show being that Salt Lake date and with Posty and hometown show for him, like big deal. And Tyler's first show with Muscadine, or his second show. First show was like a club thing. Second one was this Freedom Fest thing. It was on Virginia Beach. Direct support for Luke Combs. It was like 50 or 60 or 70,000 people on this beach. And Tyler ran sound for that and killed it. He's been with him ever since. Then fast forward like a month, 2 months, they needed to fill in for merch. And I almost didn't want to give up my dorm money and doing security at Whiskey Row because I'm like, what if this doesn't work out? Whatever. I ended up going out selling merch, breaking their merch record. In Huntsville, Alabama, and Macon, Georgia. And then they hired me the following week. And I was with them up until COVID hit.
Wow.
But yeah, Tyler me and Tyler lived together. He came up to Delaware with me where my family's at now during COVID. Like,
wow.
So, and Gary and Charlie, like my older brothers, you know, and Olton. And it's funny because their iteration of what they have right now as far as their band and Tyler was we had all kind of joined in 2019. So like I joined right after Justin and Weston got on.
Gotcha.
So I've traveled around in the Sprinter with those boys all over the country for a good chunk. So to see what they're doing, but how has it been? Because they're some of the best dudes in the business, for sure. And their path is different too, and that they're independent and that they do it their way. They're very involved in their records. Their merch game is insane, which I helped them. I had Brad fill my shoes with the merch, and he kills it, you know? But what's it been like being with those boys?
Dude, it has been the best. I was like, you know, I'd heard their name, but was unfamiliar with them.
Yeah.
You know? And so, yeah, we're using all of their stuff. Tyler's running sound for us, you know.
Great sound guy, by the way.
Fantastic. Yeah, he's great. They're light guys doing lights for us. But, yeah, they've been amazing. And watching their set, like, huge fan now, you know, but they have been, it's been cool. They've got a little more experiences, especially like, you know, supporting Luke Combs and stuff like that. They've kind of, you know, this is still bigger, but they've done it before, and it's been super welcoming to us and made us feel great. And they're, hanging out with them every day has been super fun. And they are the coolest guys of all time.
Yeah, man. If I wouldn't be where I'm at today, had I not worked and learned the ropes from Gary and Charlie and Adam, their manager, and and Tyler and their whole crew, that's what got me to where I'm at. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to go to the show. I didn't go to the show last time. I'm a big Yankees fan, so I got to watch the Yankees clinch to go to the World Series for the first time in 15 years. So I was excited. So I was excited about that. But did you get to go? So they've been doing those Western. The Chandler's Western after parties. Do you get to go to any of those or not really?
I haven't. The Boston show where he did one, my band went for a minute. My manager was like, "Come back, you get meet Hardy. He's back here." He wasn't there. I go back to the post green room. It's 8 people smoking weed.
It's a post green room party. Yeah,
I'm like, all right, let me get out of here. And then I meet up with it, but I haven't got to personally go to any of them. The Floribama one, we were like really late getting in. They did it the day before the show. Yeah. So no, I haven't got to go any of them.
Because Chandler's another one. I remember when Chandler first moved to town. Yeah. We used to help him get into the bars.
Oh yeah, he's young.
We used to get him into Red Door and into Losers and into all those bars. And Chandler's like a little brother to Nikki T and I as well. So it's really cool seeing all the different pieces that are like, where it's like, those are the homies on this tour. Now getting to meet you, dude, and having you know, and the raised rowdy family, you know, because you strike me as a guy that was raised a little on the rowdy side.
Yeah, for sure.
What was it like growing up in Cookeville?
So I grew up in Smyrna.
Oh, really? So why is it, what's the connection with Cookeville?
So I have lived... I've moved back and forth between Nashville and Cookeville like 3 times. Okay. I just had a friend out of high school go to tech out there. Yeah. And then I'd kind of go out there and hang out, and his new friends, college friends, became my friends, and someone needed a roommate, and I was like, I'm not doing anything. It's 2015. I'm 22 or something. Yeah. Just moved out to Cookeville. Lived there for a while. Moved back. Was in East Nashville for a while. Lived in North Nashville for a while. And then moved back, and then I've been back there since 2021, and I think I'm set now. Yeah, but I love it out there. Yeah, it's just like it's far away enough. I can like turn off Nashville and not pay a lick of attention.
Is Cookeville the one with the Buc-ee's, or is that Crossville?
That's Crossville.
Do you pass it coming here?
No,
Cookeville.
It's towards Knoxville. Okay,
yeah. So I was gonna say, if you could pass a Buc-ee's on your way,
that'd be really something.
That'd be pretty.
We got to get
cool.
one in Lebanon.
I know.
Then we'll be cooking.
I know they've been building them. Every entry and out, every in and out of Nashville, it seems like there's a fucking beaver popping up, and we love a good beaver nuggets, the sandwiches, all that shit.
I got this jacket there 2 days ago.
Isn't it crazy when you can get there?
I know.
I try to describe it to my homies back in New York, and I'm like, y'all have no fucking clue.
Not a clue
about a Buc-ee's.
No.
It's a game changer.
I mean, it's...
But you said growing up in Smyrna. Mm-hmm. I lived in Laverne for a little while.
Kidding. Yeah,
I lived right
drummer
off,
Ethan from Laverne.
Yeah. I lived right off of right off. I think it was exit 64, like Waldron Road, right there by that sketchy motel and the sketchy truck stop. That's right there.
Ethan grew up right, the Hot Topic warehouse back there. Yeah. He would walk. That was like his first job. He walked there.
Great way to describe Laverne. There's a Hot Topic warehouse.
It was my first job.
Really?
Yeah, picking and packing for the Internet Fulfillment Center.
No shit.
Yeah, packing orders for Hot Topic. A lot of people, but he would walk to work. He lived that close, like off of Waldron Road.
No shit.
Yeah, that Mapco right there.
Yeah.
That's his house is like behind that.
Yeah, I lived on Beard Court, so it was just it was in like the little like that subdivision, just a little bit like up that hill past the Mapco.
Yeah, you grew up.
I was there.
That's right next to where my
I was
drummer
there,
grew
but
up.
Smyrna's got quite a bit in it.
Yeah,
now
it is. It's changed a lot. Yeah, I was born downtown Nashville. My parents lived in Laverne, off of like Fergus Road, that little side over there.
Yep.
And then we moved to Smyrna when I was like 3, and I grew up there. But yeah, it was wildly different.
It had to be pretty like desolate.
2003. Yeah. Sam Ridley was like, there was like a church, and then like 2 miles, and then an O'Charlie's across 24.
Yeah, the Southern TGI Fridays.
Right, and then it was woods the whole way down.
Wow.
And now that is like,
there's everything.
yes,
everything. Like you can be perfectly comfortable in Smyrna and have everything you need, and not even have to come to Nashville unless you're flying. Unless you're flying out. There's even an airport down in Smyrna, right? It's a little private one.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I think like the Preds fly into there, and like, yeah, it's crazy. I know that because it's got an air show.
Yeah.
Blue Angels.
That has to be sick.
Oh, it's crazy. One of the Blue Angels crashed in Smyrna a few years ago.
Oh no shit.
There was a guy who passed away. This was 2018. Probably.
Oh, wow, I was like right when I got to town.
Yeah, it was insane.
Damn. Yeah, when I first got to town, I lived in Spring Hill. I was a Murray County guy. A little different. They make them a little different down there in Columbia.
Yeah, Thompson Station, that whole area.
Yeah, dude, hanging out Froggy and Jeffro's and learning that you can smoke cigs in a bar.
Oh
from
yeah,
New York, you couldn't have that.
Oh, you still do it in Cookeville a lot.
Yeah. You go to Embers in Columbia, and they've got like the chicken wire in front of the stage and the pool hall and all that. And it gets to a certain time of night, and you're like, I don't drive a motorcycle or work at the factory. I should probably get out of here.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude, Cookeville's got
Cookeville's blue collar too.
Yeah, dude, it's got some crazy bars down there. They're like unbelievable.
Have you played a lot of them? Do they have music?
Yeah, really? Yeah. There's a Cookeville for like. There's a lot of good like country people and stuff, but kind of all over the place. Yeah. It has a music scene way better than it ought to somehow. There's always like some very interesting kind of experimental stuff going on. There was a band from there in the 90s called the Hosemobile that was like a math rock, post-rock band.
Wow.
Recorded a record with Steve Albini, toured Japan with Primus.
No shit.
Yeah. It was great. Shellac played Cookeville back in the day.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy history there. It's insane. A lot. And then, do you know Neil Jones?
Yeah.
He's from Cookeville.
Oh, no shit.
He played on my first EP.
Wow.
He's just a Cookeville guy we know from like, he was in this outlaw country band in Cookeville. Him and his brother.
Oh.
His brother's like, he lives on a houseboat out. Like he's a better guitar player than Neil. The story goes.
Wow.
Yeah. Him and his brother played in this band out there. We just knew him. We just knew Neil as the guy who skateboarded in cowboy boots. And then he like moved to Nashville, and he's like on the everyone knows him.
Yeah.
He like plays the Opry with American Aquarium, and
yeah.
But he played steel on my first EP for free. He was like, yeah, I'm in town for Thanksgiving. Yeah, come by the house. Yeah, Dan's got some songs. Sure.
That's just how it works sometimes.
I know, yeah.
That's just how it works, to where like you just find yourself in these situations, and you're like, how the fuck did I get here?
Yeah, it's wild. I don't know how I got here.
Yeah. What do your parents do?
My dad has worked at a life insurance company since he graduated college.
Okay.
He got out of the Marines, went to MTSU. He took the first job that paid the most and offered overtime.
Yeah.
And he's been there since 1994.
Wow.
And then my mom works in the school system.
Okay.
She was I think she kind of went that route to like be off work when we're off.
Yeah.
And so, but she went back, got her master's, and she's now a truancy officer.
Wow.
Which is crazy, because growing up she was like a social worker, school social worker.
What's a truancy officer?
Make sure that kids are going to school.
Oh.
Yeah. So like if you miss a bunch of days for some reason, because there's a lot of like seniors that fuck off and don't go to school. But then there's a lot of like fucked up family situations. Like, why aren't you enrolling your kid in school?
How can we fix this?
Right. And then a lot of like people that move out of Rutherford County and, go to a different state and don't register their kid don't enroll their kid in school. So then she has to like call some school district in Mississippi and figure out why this parent hasn't enrolled their kid in school and what's going on. Yeah.
That's stuff that people don't even really think about, but it happens. Good on your mom doing that, man.
Yeah, I call her all the time. She's like, I just got out of court. I'm going to, she's in court all the time.
Wow. You got any siblings?
I have a younger brother.
Nice. What does he do? What's he like?
He is so he works for a, like real estate business taking like drone footage of like houses.
That's pretty cool.
It is cool. And he does like, he goes to these houses and takes photos and video and does like 3D tours so that you can like go online and tour the house virtually.
Wow.
Yeah. But he is like I guess his hobby is a street photographer. And so like his Friday night, go down to Broadway, flash right in people's faces.
That's pretty sick. He's capturing a moment in time. Like people are going to look back on this decade or this era, however long it runs, of like Nashville having this boom. And those photos are going to tell that story of what it was like.
He has got some crazy ones on Broadway. And we take him out and like, because I have like a guy who does like a lot of my social media content and stuff. But like my brother comes along and takes like kind of some more like artsy, like kind of weird photos and stuff. But yeah, he's super cool.
That's sick.
He's like such a snob and like an artist about photography.
Like this lighting should be fixed here. That. Yeah.
Like he's like, because we bring him to our shows and he like does not give a fuck. He's like, I'm not a show photographer. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm not one of these people who go to shows and take photos. He's like telling me to like stand next to some like, I was the other day like the metal aluminum side of like a truck door. He's like, stand here because the sun is, and your reflection's gonna look crazy. He's like, but yeah, if you go to his Instagram, Noah Gardner, he's tagged all over my stuff.
Okay,
his photos are crazy. He just up in people's faces, flashing on Broadway.
That's sick.
Like, I'm sure people have gotten really mad at him before, but he's got some crazy.
No, but
shots.
like the crazy bachelorette parties and just the drunk tourists are like, please take my picture.
Oh yeah,
and he's probably seen it all.
Oh, for sure.
It's chaos down there. Do you go down there very often or not really?
Never.
You're hanging out at the mouth hole.
Yeah, I've never come to Nashville.
There's not much of a reason to. That's the beauty of being in Cookeville. If there is a reason, you drive, what is that, like 2 hours?
It's an hour 15.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah,
it's like
nothing.
me living in Spring Hill. It's not much of a difference.
Yeah.
It's just 40 instead of 65.
Right,
It's not bad.
Yeah, I don't ever come. We don't play Nashville very much. If we do, it's like we're like the soft band on a hardcore bill. We do that more than anything. If we're playing in Nashville, we'll play at Dark Matter or the Arcane Workshop in Madison. And
have you played at the End?
Sure, yeah. Last time I played the End was all hardcore show. We played with a straight edge band called No Cure, and it was actually a benefit for Vanderbilt Children's Hospital around Christmas last year.
Wow.
You got into the show by donating Play-Doh. You brought a mountain of Play-Doh.
Wow.
It came from that show. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah.
The End is a cool spot. It's hilarious to like, it's funny when you walk in there and then you go to try to get a drink and it's like
Bruce.
The way that, is that the guy's name?
Bruce.
Oh
yeah. I think they just did a documentary on him.
Really?
Yeah.
So I joke around that he's like Rod. He looks kind of like Rod Stewart.
Totally.
He's like Rod Stewart's like older brother.
Yeah.
And they take the way the tab system works, where it's just all the receipts on the counter with the card, and they're just striking a tally per beer.
Yeah, and that guy's been there forever.
And he's been running it forever.
And he's got that Mustang out front. If you go there enough,
so
there's a shitty Mustang.
I haven't noticed the Mustang.
That's Bruce's Mustang.
I'm gonna go look.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go look.
Yeah, that guy's wild. I've emailed him a few times.
Yeah, like book us.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's
That's
great.
cool. Yeah, I saw Lakeview there. They did like a release show there.
Oh, wow.
And Lakeview in that room was sick.
I bet.
Lakeview in that room was
Lakeview in that
fucking
room.
wild.
I bet,
They were
man.
jumping. They
Just
jumped
hits different.
Yeah, it just hits different. Exactly. Fucking Luke's jumping off the stage and like getting in the pit, like getting in the action. She's like, open the fucking pit.
That's scary.
Yeah, dude. Wild. Wild. What do you like doing when you're not doing the music stuff?
Oh, I'm so boring. I just read.
Oh, you a big book guy?
Yeah, I read a lot and walk around.
What book are you reading right now?
I'm reading The Trial by Franz Kafka.
Okay.
That is, I got that on tour. This is like the first tour I've been like you bring a book on tour and then it sits at the bottom of your bag for a month.
Because you're just going.
Because you don't read. You're like, what am I going to read? And you never touch it. This has been the first tour with like days off. And like, so I've actually been able to read.
That's
but
sick.
yeah, I don't do anything. I'm super boring. I don't drink or party or do anything like that. So
You think that's part of just like coming up in that culture of like the straight edge stuff, like you did, to where you got to your first like your social experiences as like a teenager, and like that era where like you going out and people don't realize that hardcore shows and in that scene there's not a lot of alcohol consumption going on.
Yeah. No, I'd quit drinking.
Oh, you quit?
Yeah,
Okay.
about a year and change ago.
Okay, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be hitting 7 years on May 30th of next year.
Wow.
And that's something I bonded over with the Muscadine guys
Sure.
with as well, with Charlie.
Yeah.
because Charlie's gone through that as well. And
For
then
sure.
Trey Lewis, when I was out with him, so
Oh.
he's been sober. I think he's coming up on like 16 or
Whoa.
maybe 18. I think he quit in like 07.
Oh, no kidding.
So it's like crazy. But
Yeah.
what was that? What was like the reasoning for that, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, it was just like, so I'd done it before for like a year and a half, and then COVID, and then went back down the same old path.
Yeah.
But then it was actually the weekend after I met Post for the first time, which I like met him, didn't drink at all through that entire experience, which was, we went down to his Atlanta show for the tour last year before F-1 Trillion, and like one of the craziest nights of my life, because it was like Brad Paisley, Winona Judd, like a bunch of people in this little room. Dwight Howard was there for some reason.
For some reason.
Still don't know why. Dwight Howard was there.
So random.
Dude, there's a photo of me, Brad Paisley, and Dwight Howard that we're like, it's kind of like a candid shot.
Yeah.
It looks like Dwight Howard's talking to me. He's not. But I'm going, I'm
just
like, look,
looking up
dude,
at
he's
them.
6'11".
Oh, he's so fucking massive.
He's huge. But yeah, came home from that and was just like, I think that was like a Thursday, and then it's like Friday night in Cookeville, and I've just had like the craziest experience of all time. Drank crazy for 2 days and was like, I'm gonna screw this up. Like I'm gonna like do something bad if I keep. So just stopped right there.
And now you can enjoy those moments of like where you're not like, what happened last night. You might still, things move so quick to where as a sober guy, I still have those moments where I'm like, what the fuck happened? Like, was last night real? And you're having those every
this
night.
morning.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I was out, probably went to bed around 3. Didn't get back till like 2 o'clock because we have not stayed for a full Post Malone show maybe twice this whole tour.
Oh, so last night was special.
Last night I was like, I'm staying for the whole thing. And the green room after the show. And
Oh, it had to be nuts.
It was Theo Vaughn showed up. That was really crazy.
He's another guy that doesn't drink.
Yeah.
And still can be like the life of the party and still be
sure.
Theo. Nice guy too.
Totally. Him, it wasn't a crazy like room of so and so that no one was out of town. He only brought out Blake Shelton last night. Out of all the
Yeah, because Morgan and Luke, I think all those guys were.
Morgan, Luke, Hardy, and Ernest came out at Fenway, so they had already hopped on the tour. But there was like rumors of Hank Jr. coming doing
That would have been
finer
crazy.
things. Yeah, that would have been crazy. There was a Dolly rumor going around. Yeah, none of that ended up happening. Brad Paisley was busy. That's the one I'm a big Brad guy.
Yeah, dude.
I'm the Huge fan.
The soundtrack of 2000s country.
Oh, yeah.
Brad fucking Paisley.
He's the best.
Water, alcohol,
Yeah. I'm gonna
mud on the
miss
tires.
her.
Last Time for Everything.
Sure.
Last Time for Everything is something that because you're what? You're early 30s, I'm guessing.
Turned 31 in a couple weeks.
31 in a couple weeks. Nice.
Yeah.
I turned 30 in about 2 months, so we're about the same ballpark.
There you go.
So it's like that's like Last Time for Everything comes out like around the time that we're at that age where people are finishing up college, like figuring out like there's that transition period of like early 20s, and he drops that song. Just like fuck, Brad.
Dude.
Now I'm thinking about every moment I've ever done in my entire life. Like there's a last time for everything.
Yeah.
Like no, he was one of the best, dude.
Of course. And I've got to meet him and
Nice guy.
Work with him a couple times. So nice. First time at that Atlanta show with Post. I didn't know he was going to be there. And Post taps me on the shoulder and goes, "Have you met Brad?" And, you know, I've met a million people already. And I'm like, I go, "Brad who?" And he goes, "Come over here." And he's like, "Hey, this is Brad." And I'm like, "Oh,
Hi.
it's Brad Paisley." Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I haven't met Brad yet. It was insane. But then I saw him 6 months later, and he was like, "Dan, how are you?" And I was like, "Oh, no." He remembered to me.
That's
He's like,
crazy.
"Listen to some of your music, man. That's crazy stuff." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Brad Paisley was listening to my song.
Oh, yeah. He asked me, the first time we met, he was like, "What kind of music do you do?" And I was like, "Oh, it's kind of country folky, you know, John Prine, Blaze Foley stuff." And he goes, "Oh, cool." I go, "What kind of music do you do?" He goes, "Country." I think he like later after talking to me realized I was fucking with him, but in the moment he was like, "Country." Like,
That's fun.
cool.
Did he have a lid on or a baseball cap?
Oh,
or-
yeah.
Oh yeah, he had the.
He can blend more so than a lot of people. He can be inconspicuous.
Really?
He's just very normal looking dude.
Yeah.
Whereas like Winona Judd was there, and it's like she's Winona.
It's Winona.
Yeah, like she looks like Winona all the time. Like,
Yeah, she's
Brad's
always
just like
on.
jeans, a hoodie, and a baseball hat. He could, you know, go to 7-Eleven and not have any
You
problems.
probably, when you're around that, I guess you have like a decision as an artist. Do you want to be in? Do you want to do that, or do you just want to be on all the time?
Right.
Like a guy like Morgan is on all the time.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas you see other folks that can do the blending thing. They're like, I want to go out for a drink, but I don't want to I don't want to get bothered with stuff.
Yeah, he can do that for sure. I didn't even know he was in the room.
Yeah.
That's do you want to meet Brad? Brad
You were saying how you don't really have to come to town, and you don't really do a lot of shows here and stuff. I feel like we were talking about before how like just like the genre has changed and like the scene has changed, and you don't necessarily have to have the approval of 16th Avenue. And again, it goes back to me being part of the Muscadine tree. You know, they're very vocal about where they're at with everything. And it's like, it's a time where the artist can really do what the artist wants to do.
Yeah.
And it just takes a few folks in your circle to really fucking believe in you to help you amplify it. And it seems like the gray area folks and Bobby and Post and like everybody, they're those champions for you. You don't have to come and necessarily like play the game. You can just be Dan.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
I've been shocked at what they've let me do, honestly. I mean, like, you know, the latest record, the lead single starts with like blast beats.
Yeah.
It's like, why did they let me do that? Like, you know, like
Because they believe in you.
I know, it's been the coolest.
The
of all time.
artistry. They're letting artists be artists. It's that time where you don't have to go. And there's still a path to like playing the game. And there's lots of artists that are doing that and doing that very well. And I think that'll always be a part of it.
Yeah.
But there's a way where you can just be you. You don't have to change. You can do what the fuck you want to do. And they're going to help you be you the best way that they can.
Yeah, for sure. They've been great. And I because I grew up, you know, I grew up here, but I was like so on a different path that I like never even considered the normal Nashville, go to Belmont for songwriting, you know, do that whole
Music Row, go knocking on doors.
Yeah, never even like really knew how it worked. I didn't know what a publishing deal was until last year.
Yeah.
Like I just did not know about this whole thing at all. Never co-writes, never. I've been to a couple now, fruitless, but you know, like, never wrote a song with anyone. Like, you know, my band and stuff, I've like brought songs to them, and they write a guitar solo or a drum fill, like they. But I've never like, what's the next line? Like what are the like? Never done that with anyone ever, and so it's been and the label's kind of like asked me to go to those rooms and try and stuff. It's not really worked out. I just have no experience.
And you have to find your people that resonate, and that it's a vulnerable thing, right?
Sure, yeah.
It's a vulnerable thing, telling people like your ideas, and if you're going to a deep place, being comfortable with the guys and girls in that room, that you're collaborating with, they're vulnerable for them too.
Yeah, and I'm not used to that.
No, it takes some getting used to.
Showing people a completed song. I've done that forever, but I've never like done the whole thing. And the first co-write I ever did was with Post, Ernest, Charlie Handsome, Chandler. That was the first time I ever co-wrote with anyone.
That's an absurd room to be in.
It was.
That is like that again, that's so much of the Dan Spencer story is this shit doesn't happen.
Right. Yeah, that's not the way it works ever. Skipped a lot of steps.
No, but it's just, I wouldn't say skip steps. I think it's just your journey's different. Because you've been playing shows for a long time. You've been in the scene. You've had this love of music just like everybody else does.
Right.
It's different styles of music and everything.
Totally.
But no, your path of like getting to where you're at, I don't think you've skipped steps. I think it's that I know
some guys who think so.
Yeah, you know what? And you know what? Fuck them, man. You know what, dude? Everybody's path is different in this thing. You know, everybody's path in life is different.
Yeah.
And it's like there's a reason you're there. There's a reason that the gray area and Bobby and stuff you're getting those crazy calls at the pizzeria.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, never thought I would, even picturing like what a music career would look like, or like, if it was up to me, what,
not having a 9 to 5.
Yeah. Put out some record, like an indie label picks it up that, do some tour with,
Yeah, it's like a hobby more than anything.
Yeah.
Like it's like giving you your fix of your creative fix.
Mm-hmm. I just never saw it going this way.
Yeah.
But it's been unbelievable. Super grateful.
And dude, it's just getting started.
I know.
That's the craziest part is it's just getting started.
Yeah.
And the ramifications or the waves that the whole post and country thing is doing right now. Mm-hmm. It's opening so many doors for just all kinds of people. Man.
Sure.
Yourself included.
Well, all of these pop stars are doing country records, and that's like, it's fun to watch.
We're the cool kids right now. Nashville is Sunset Strip back in the 80s. Yeah.
Totally. And it's like, it's interesting to watch, some people do it and everyone goes, we see what this is. This is a, switched of genre to capitalize on a thing. Lucky for Post Malone's team, he's got, tweets when he was 19 years old saying, when I'm 30, I'll be a country singer.
Yeah, he just loves it.
He loves it.
He just loves country. He's always come to Nashville. He loves country music.
And like grew up in Dallas, and like you can see with him, I think more so than a lot of people, how genuine it is.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of people have been making country records in the past couple of years, but he is like such a fan of country music, and it's so natural.
Yeah,
and he works with the best people making country music too.
Yeah, it's like the authenticity is a huge part of country music, and it is in a lot of different genres. To where it's like the term poser or things like that, and it's like Post Malone is not that.
No, not at all.
It's real.
Yeah.
He just loves music, and it's there's not many people that are generational that can expand genres like that and do it so well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fun to watch, and I got to go to some of the writing sessions for F-1 Trillion, and none of those songs have made it out, but we remain hopeful.
But still a great experience to even be.
Crazy to watch it get made, and like watch Ernest do his thing.
He's crazy. It's a beast.
It's crazy.
Like generational songwriter.
Absolutely. And the music he makes, not my thing. probably will never put it on in the car.
But that's okay.
But watching him write songs, I was like, this guy has my respect forever.
Yeah.
Like that's seeing him like damn near freestyle a verse.
Yeah, people forget he had a rap career.
Oh, that
Snow.
right, for sure. I've since heard about this.
Yeah.
But even seeing him like, I mean, write something so quickly that we now know to be a hit.
Yeah.
Like watching that happen so quickly, you're like, man, this guy. Yeah, reason he was a BMI Songwriter of the Year or whatever last year.
It's all
Like, dude, he's crazy. He's a monster.
And another 615 kid, another kid that grew up locally.
Yeah, that's rare.
Yeah, dude, and you gotta have like a sense of pride in that. This is home. Like Middle Tennessee
For sure.
is home.
For sure.
Do you follow sports at all or not really?
Not a ton, kind of on the periphery a little bit. I watch football. I enjoy it when it's, but I don't know. I barely know who like plays.
Yeah. I will say right now, Vandy's looking good.
Last week was pretty wild.
Dude, yeah, fucking goalpost in the Cumberland.
I was really hoping they'd leave it there.
Yeah, and it would just float its way down to
mean,
Chattanooga.
It's
Imagine that. It's just watching this goalpost just go downstream.
there's people following the
Yeah. It's like Channel 5 News, like
it's
watching.
like drone, live feed.
Yeah, that's what your brother's shooting on the drone. He's just following the Vandy goalpost go down Middle Tennessee and be like, Georgia can have this.
Go to the WSMV website and click on the live feed of the goalpost.
Yeah, it's like Santa Tracker, you know?
Yeah, the Santa tracker.
Goalpost tracker.
Or if they could have stuck it in the river, it's just a free tourist attraction.
Yeah, they could have made money doing that.
I need to call my cousin is like Metro Parks Department.
Nice.
I need to call him and see if he had to get it out.
Yeah.
See if he had to get that thing out of there.
We were talking about like your jobs earlier. I did before I moved down. I worked for my local like town parks department, like cleaning bathrooms, cutting the grass, doing this, doing that. Parks department guys, man. That's a gig.
It is, yeah.
That's a gig.
And he's worked for Metro Parks for a long time, and the amount of guitars he like has found.
Yeah, people just leaving shit.
There's guitars everywhere in Nashville Parks Department. He's like found another guitar.
Looking for a guitar? Why go to Carter's?
Yeah.
Go to Centennial
Go
Park.
to Centennial at 5 a.m. and see what is left over.
Just what's left over from the debauchery.
Of course.
That's awesome. Where's some of your favorite spots to like hang out in town? I know we talked about Mouth Hole earlier, and like, but I know you're not in town as much anymore. But like, where are some of your like favorite sections of the city?
Man, I probably I'm on the east side. If I come to town, I've got a lot of friends that live over there.
You go to Shulman's.
I've been to Shulman's, but I don't ever go out.
It's like there's Shulman's. What are the other bars? I don't hang in East a lot. I joke around that I'm not cool enough for East because there's like the East Nashville folks, like the hipsters and stuff. I've since started going over there a little bit more. Like I've hung out at Duke's. I haven't been to Dino's. I hear Dino's is like
Dino's is cool.
I hear Dino's is a spot. I like Lakeside Lounge a lot.
That place is wild.
Which, funny enough, that's like the backstory of Lakeview. I don't know if you know this. They were originally called Lakeside because Jesse bartended. Up until recently, Jesse was one of the main bartenders at Lakeside.
Oh.
So their original band name was going to be Lakeside.
Oh, I didn't know
but
that.
But then
at
they're
all.
going with Lakeview. But yeah, they were kind of started like in that like basement east Lakeside culture.
Right.
It's over there.
What, man? Okay, so Lakeside Lounge was called something before.
Oh, it was?
Oh yeah, it's only been Lakeside Lounge for like 3 or 4 years.
Oh really? Well, that's all I've known it as.
It was God.
Was it like similar vibe where it was like old school?
No, it was
kind of
like
retro?
super dingy, and there was like a cigarette machine.
Oh,
and you could smoke in there. What was that called?
It's a great location, being right off the basement east. Like you pregame and postgame at a show there, just hang out. Great little smoking section, that little patio outside. Right there. I like a place with a good smoking section. I don't smoke cigs like I used to. I used to be 2 packs a day.
Yeah.
But I appreciate a good smoking section. If you can smoke inside too.
Love smoking
cigs inside. There's just something, it just hits different.
Nothing like it.
I was doing cigars inside. We were just up in Peoria, Illinois.
Yeah.
Meeting with some friends up there that have a venue called Cruisin'. Shout out to Wayne and Austin. They also run a festival called Tailgate and Tall Boys.
Yeah, I've heard about this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but they have a new. We call them high level degenerates. The term degenerate is a term of endearment in the Raised Rowdy world.
Sure.
We love degeneracy.
Yeah.
Levels, you know? And it's just like these guys, we were hanging out in their new bar across the street called Ducks. And it's like Cheers. And I was like, Wayno, can we have cigars? He's like, fuck it. I ain't going to kick you. He's like, what? He's like, watch him kick us out. And he's like the owner of the bar. So we're just sitting there ripping cigars just late night in this bar. And there's nothing like smoking inside.
Oh, yeah. Dude, there's a bar in Cookeville called Bar on the Green.
Bar on the Green.
It's, right on a golf course that they feud. The owners of the golf course and the bar. Oh. They're not affiliated.
I kind of love that,
Dude,
though.
This place rules. I credit having a record deal with this bar.
Really?
Because Bobby and some of the Post crew came to Nashville, and they were like, to meet me for the first time, and make sure I wasn't a psycho. They had me meet them at a dive motel, and I'm like explaining to them, I'm like, this is a fake hotel. Like, no one stays here. This is for music video and porn. Like, this is like people come here for photo shoots.
Yeah.
Like, no one stays here overnight.
Yeah.
And so they were like, well, we want to see like where you live. And I'm like, well, it's an hour away. They're like, whatever, let's go. Call a car, whatever. We got to Cookeville, and I'm telling them, they're like, can we drink moonshine? Like, can we go to a liquor store? And I was like, a liquor store for moonshine? What are you, out of your mind?
We're not drinking that old smoky stuff.
Yeah, I was like, no, dude, you could call a guy who knows a guy and like come down from the mountain and give him $20 for the
call
quart.
up Bruce or Barry and get some apple pie, get some white light, and
course.
put some hair on your chest.
Yeah, so I call my bass player Zach, who's in Cookeville, and I'm like, I'm with Post Malone's crew. I need a quart. He's like, call my stepdad, like on it. So we like go to Cookeville. We take him to this like skate shop where we play shows. We're playing like a hometown show November 1st, as soon as we're done with this.
Oh, sick.
In Cookeville.
Oh, sick.
At this little crazy venue.
I might have to try and come out for that.
Come out.
Sick.
Do that play. So this place is wild in Cookeville. It's like the only like venue. There's a lot of like breweries and bars and stuff.
Yeah.
So like this is a skate shop. Skate shop is smaller than this room. Like that is the skate.
Wow.
But they have a huge back room.
Oh.
And it's these old like skate heads, like these guys are like mid 50s probably.
Yeah.
And they're all like contractors. And over COVID, they built a bar.
Oh, sick.
And built a stage. And it probably 100, 150 people couldn't fit in there.
I like that.
It's all, but there's no fire department's not been there.
Yeah.
And it's just like, bring your own beer. Their wives run the bar. I usually buy 200 PBRs when we throw shows there, and it's coolest place of all time. But yeah, we're playing there with a bunch of punk bands. On
Okay,
November
sick.
1st.
We'll have to check that out.
Come on out if you can.
Tell me about this. You're bringing Post crew to Bar on the Green.
Yeah, so I was working at Bar on the Green in the kitchen for a long time.
Okay.
And I still, like, when I'm home, I call it the Sad Sack Country Hour. I go and do like covers, and a lot of the regulars hate it. I like do no hits. Like I play like Keith Whitley and like 50s country. Like,
you want to come to the bar and cry? Come hang out with me.
Yeah, that's what I call it. Sad Sack Country Hour. And like, yeah, I'm not doing Cover Me Up When It Rains It Pours. Like not doing any of that stuff. People hate it. I've gotten a lot of people mad. They're like, "What are you playing?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "This is a Fair and Young song.
Yeah.
Like, this is a song from 1959."
Yeah.
But they've got these wings. It's like secret recipe. They're called Dirty Boys.
Ooh.
They're amazing. So, and Bobby, my manager, huge food guy. He hears about a wing spot, he's got to go.
Yeah.
So I'm telling him all day, I'm like, yo, we're going to go to this wing spot in Cookeville, blow your mind. Show up to the bar.
Yeah.
The cook got sick. There's no cook tonight. And I was like, I brought Post Malone's crew to like, I was like, I'm going back there. I'm cooking.
I know how to do
it. So I cooked like all these wings and like all this food.
And you're like talking to them like through the window or
yeah. It's like I put an apron on. I'm like, guys, I brought these people here. Like I have to feed them.
Yeah.
So I cook for them. They're like, and I think those wings got me in. Dude. I think like that was the deciding factor.
The dirty
boys.
The Dirty Boys.
Yeah. But it was sick. I took him to the cemetery where I worked at the funeral home and just kind of did a tour of Cookeville.
Yeah.
But yeah, got them some real moonshine.
Yeah. That's how I know that they're not just in it to be in it. They're in the Dan Spencer business. Like they're on this ride with you because they want to. They're investing in you. And I love that they went out to your hometown. They're like, show us you.
Right. Yeah.
What does a day in your life look like? And you're literally taking them to the cemetery and you're feeding them fucking dirty boys that you're making yourself. Like this is real.
Yeah. That's funny. That bar. It's like there's always behind the scene like there's the cocoa deed or just like
something.
Something happened. I've been there several times like to go eat and like they're like, oh, Jerry whatever, he's gone. I'm like, all right, I'll make food for me and my friends who are here. I've done that several times.
That's awesome.
I love posting that on like Instagram and stuff. Like played some huge show and then I'm like back in the kitchen like
flipping burgers
back again. I can never leave.
Who
this
wants
place.
some dirty boys?
But that place you can smoke inside. Cool. And then there was like a crackdown in the county on it. And they were like, if you smoke inside, you have to have a doorman checking IDs.
Oh.
And the owner was like, fuck that. What's the fine? Fuck you.
Just take it out of our...
I'll pay it.
Take it out of our thing.
Whatever.
Take it out of the bottom line. No doorman here. That's funny, dude. That's funny, brother. Yeah. Dude, I mean, so what do we have for the rest of this year? So November 1st, Hometown Jam. Yeah. The Punk World.
Yes, sir.
At what was the name of the bar out there?
It's called the Warehouse Skate Shop.
The Warehouse Skate Shop out back. Back in the dungeon. Yeah. And then what else do we got for this year? You've got 4 shows left with Posty, the Texas dates, right?
Yeah, just the Texas dates, and then I am going after this tour to a 2-week sojourn to West Virginia to be alone for a while.
Hey, good on you for doing that. Good on you. To do that, that's important.
I'm hurting for it. I'm a pretty introverted. Spend a lot of time alone. Yeah, and I was like, I need this. Pretty
That's
bad.
One of the hardest parts about being an artist and this music thing is that you're expected. Part of the job is entertaining people and being as extroverted and outwardly like to bring joy to other people's lives.
Totally.
But if you have like internally where you're like, I just need some time. Yeah. I just need to get away and just turn this fucking thing off, or multiple of them off if you have multiple phones, which I'm not there yet. I'm getting close to being there. But it's like I just want to, because it bogs down your creativity when you're not in the right headspace too.
Totally. Yeah. And haven't been able to write. I've got a handful of demos we recorded in May and just haven't been able to get back and sit down for since the Lakeview dates in June. So going out there to write, I've got I'm out there for 2 weeks. I've got like 3 shows that I'm doing. I'm playing Charleston, West Virginia, Whitesburg, Kentucky, and Morgantown. But those are like super spread out.
Motown's wild.
Love it out there, man.
Motown's wild.
Love that place.
They're crazy.
I know. And then they got little cars going around everything. Yeah, that's wild.
They're crazy.
I didn't know that going there the first time. We had like a day off there, like between, I think, Charleston and Pittsburgh probably. Yeah. And we were just like, oh, let's chill in Morgantown for this day. Never been out there. And we were like, what is this little trolley system going through the town? Like, these are crazy to watch.
Yeah, when I knew some people that had like gotten into WVU, and then I remember like when I was like applied into colleges, back in like 2012, 2013, when I was looking at colleges, it was like a 90% acceptance rate in there. Which then you go there and you're like, okay, this makes sense. This is a party. It's great university, great school. Their fans are a little rough. West Virginia fans. Yep. They will throw. They're like the Philadelphia Eagles fans of the college world, but they love their country music and they love real shit. So I can see why it's a good market for you. They love real shit up there.
I love it out there. If I would ever move out of Tennessee, it would be to West Virginia. I love Charleston. Love Morgantown.
That is, like I said, what Raised Rowdy started in Pittsburgh. And my business partner Nick. We'll have to. You smoke cigars at all?
I don't.
No, you don't. Okay,
I've done it before.
We'll get together and just hang and just like kick it at some point, because you got to meet Nick, because he grew up on the West Virginia-Pennsylvania border and had a lot of friends that
Brad Paisley.
He is exactly. Yeah. He has spent a lot of time in Morgantown and all that. So you just, if we look up like somebody that's like Raised Rowdy, like Dan Spencer is raised rowdy. You are one of us. And it's so good to fucking meet you, dude. And I appreciate you. A couple more, or one more like big question I always like to end it with. What's something that you would tell Dan Spencer coming out of COVID? You're going in to do the work at the funeral homes, and then all of a sudden you get hit up by these people at the pizza restaurant, and like you're like, oh, this can't, like, what's something that you would tell, like, you're down at like those points where being like, I love doing the music stuff, but it's never gonna be a thing. I'm gonna go run these funeral homes. What's something you would tell that kid that's hungry to do music but just doesn't think it's gonna happen?
Man, it's so tough to like think of, or like even give advice to myself or anyone else, because my path was give up. It was like I truly gave up music and like made peace with like, I'm never going to be on a stage again, you know? And it's like, that would be like, I mean, really the best advice to anyone is like, figure out how to find contentment outside of that dream, because it's so unlikely that it's going to happen, that you can't have your life's happiness be based on it. And so that's where I got with like funeral service. And luckily I was, against every possible odd, taken out of that, you know, because it's so, I feel like I got struck by lightning. Like it's so unlikely that this has happened. So it's like, for anyone, like if you have a, you know, not have a backup plan, but like be sure that you can find contentment in another way. Yeah.
How would you explain all the stuff that's going on right now, though? If you hop in a time machine, we're back to futuring it, or like you go back, what would you tell him about like what's ahead for him over the next couple years? Like, how would you describe where 2024 Dan Spencer is to 2020, 2021 Dan Spencer?
Chaos reigns.
In the best ways possible.
Yes. Chaos is the name of the game. There are no rules. You know, I don't know. It's just been, it's been a crazy year that's like no time to process, and it's been boom, 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 like just getting crazier every week. And there's no way to plan for anything. So it is just be comfortable with chaos. You just do not know where you're going to be the next. And so, I think that's all I got, really.
That's awesome.
Chaos reigns.
Well, Dan Spencer Metal on socials, right?
Dan Spencer Metal.
Where did that name kind of come from? Or is that part of the aesthetic of like, it looks like a metal thing, like don't judge a book by its cover, like you click on it and then you get this other thing?
Dude, it was a joke, because a lot of local bands will do like for their social media handles, they'll do like chamber hardcore. Like, you know, Chambers are local.
Like Lakeview was Lakeview Country for a long time.
Lakeview Country. Yeah, exactly. But so like, something metal, something straight edge, something hardcore. That's what a lot of bands, No Cure Straight Edge is like, I think their Instagram handle. So I was like, Dan Spencer Metal. Against everyone's wishes. Everyone hated it at the beginning on the label side. Like, how do we change this? We were like, no, it's a joke. And like, people will get it. Trust us. And it's still here today. So
that's awesome.
Dan Spencer Metal on everything.
Everybody's got to get on there and give you a follow and return to your dark master. That was a Kramer line.
That's right? A Kramer line. Yeah.
Shout out to Kramer. Return to your dark master. The album, it's out now. I was jamming it on the way over here, dude. Love what you do. And
thank you, man.
Man, just congrats on everything, man.
Thank you, man.
Buckle up, because you're the rocket ship. Like, you're very far from the destination of where it's going to end up, man. And it's a pleasure getting to meet you. And thanks for coming out here to Old Hickory, Tennessee to do this, man. Behind the Tractor Supply seems on brand for both of us.
I love it out here, man. Absolutely. For sure.
Awesome,
Thanks
man.
for having me.
Of course. Well, y'all be sure to check out our boy Dan Spencer Metal, and Return to Your Dark Master, the album that's out now. If you're in Texas and you're wanting to go out, he's got 4 more dates left on the Post Malone F-1 Trillion Tour. And if you're in Tennessee, Cookeville, Tennessee, out at the skate shop, November 1st, think me and Nikki T are gonna have to take a trip out I-40 and get out there and just fucking rage at the skate shop with all those punk bands. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Dude,
but
come on by.
seriously, look up our boy Dan Spencer. And for more information on us, please visit raisedrowdy.com. Shout out to our friends from Surfside. Got us a little open, empty can right here. We're gonna be sending Dan home with a 4-pack that his band, the boys in the band, can enjoy. Some vodka iced tea goodness. And as always, check out the merch at raisedrowdy.com. So for my man Dan Spencer, I'm Matt Burrill. This has been Outside the Round.